scheduled for opening in time for next season. And there's the United lineup. Only one Argentinian named, striker Victor Ferreira, so there's no Jose Luis Pochettino. And otherwise, 4 of the team are 21 or under: Cleland, Johnson, McKinnon and Ferguson, with the senior man in the squad at 35, David Neary, appearing for the first time in 9 weeks and only the second time this year to replace Brian Welsh in central defence. The young striker Duncan Ferguson at 20 is attracting the attention of major English clubs. The under-21 international has scored 13 goals this season, having made his debut as an 18-year-old against today's opponents Rangers at Ibrox in November 1990. And Rangers welcome back David Robertson after missing his only match this season in midweek against Falkirk. He was suspended after the red card he was shown against Celtic in the Cup. Oleg Kuznetsov drops out and John Brown reverts to central defence. Still no Mark Haitley, but Ian Durrant continues his excellent comeback by starting his 4th consecutive first-team match. It's his 22nd appearance since his serious knee injury in October 1988, and at 25 he still has lots of time to add to his 5 international caps. And the referee this afternoon is Jim Herald from Newton Mearns, a 41-year-old Glasgow solicitor in his 4th season as a Grade 1 official. Ideal conditions for what will undoubtedly be a major closing hurdle for Rangers in the race for the championship. And the United, having beaten them here already this season by 3 goals to 2, and are determined to maintain their progress towards the upper reaches of the Premier Division. They lie 4th at the moment, with some faint hopes perhaps of an extra UEFA place next season. They'll be looking to maintain that position at least. So a crowd of just under 13,000, all ticket, reflecting the non-availability of the spaces straight across from us where the new stand has been built. Here's Gary Stevens stepping away from Ray McKinnon. The Rangers reverting to the back 4, which has served them so well, with Stevens so dependable at right back. Goff, Brown and Robertson making up that defence. Neary being invited to leave that by Alan Maines. Very clear call behind him. You hear that up here. This is McInally. Nodded on there by Ferguson. Brown playing it towards Gary Stevens, whose stumble allowed United to win this throw. This is Ferguson again. Now McInally. Tangle of legs there. Gary Stevens is penalised for his activities on the ground. McKinnon playing it in. There's Ferguson, and there's the menace of Duncan Ferguson. He is so difficult to mark in this position. 6 feet 3 inches tall, and he gets up so well to these cross balls. Look at the height there. A downward header was well saved by Gorham. McCoy put his head to that under severe pressure from Malpass. McCoy has not recovered from that blow in the back of the head. The challenge is made by Maurice Malpass. So there's a problem there for McCoist. But that could have caused a lot of trouble there for McCoist. He's taken a very long time to recover, much to the anxiety of these Rangers fans. And as a precaution, McCoist is being withdrawn, at least for the moment. Van der Hoorn underneath that. Mikalichenko sideways towards Robertson. Here's Mikalichenko. Very good tackle by Van der Hoorn, who reacted quickly. Down goes Ferguson, taken from the rear by Goff. The referee has a word with the Rangers captain, another former Dundee United player, as McCoist returns to a huge welcome from the Rangers fans. Free kick will require to be retaken. Forward from Van der Hoorn. There's Ferreira taking on Brown. Good turn of pace. The alley cross towards Ferguson. Well, if United can get the ball wide, Duncan Ferguson can certainly cause problems if he receives the deliveries from the flanks. Ferreira holding off Brown, a good change of pace there. looking for Duncan Ferguson, who got just a bit underneath that. Johnson heading that into space, filled only by Stevens. McCoist did well, linking with McCall initially, then with Durant. And a good effort on the run from Ali McCoist. Well, that certainly suggests that he's recovered fully from that head injury. Determined play by McCoist, taking that return from McCall initially, then from Durant, hitting it well on the run. Brown's header, in goes Cleland. He's patient enough to cause problems. Now Duncan Ferguson, looking for Ferreira. Still Ferreira, impeded by Brown. The referee waiting play on there. But Ferreira's confidence there, his ability to run at defenders, proving troublesome. This is a very good striking combination for United. The trickery and pace on the ground of Ferreira, and the skill and the delicate touch of Duncan Ferguson in the air. Back here with Neri and Malpass. Ferreira again, seeing plenty of the ball early on. Turning very well. Excellent close control. Takes the return there from Cleland. And the recovery made by Durant. A lively piece of defending there by Ian Durant. And certainly a very important intervention. Malpass with the header, and across it goes to Van der Heijn. Johnson, Bowman. Van der Heijn showing good close control, coming from defence. Duncan Ferguson's layoff. Johnson finds McKinnon. It's a great move from United. And McKinnon's cross met firmly there by John Brown. Here's Durant in space, holding off McInally. He has Mikhalichenko on the left. McCoist making a near post run. There's Gary Stevens. And that was great defending by Ray McKinnon. Well, but for McKinnon's presence, Gary Stevens would surely have scored. Now, McKinnon, remember, has just been involved in a United attack, and he came back a long way to put Stevens under pressure. So Rangers are going to make a change here. Ali McCoist has tried very hard indeed to battle back into the match, but he's clearly still suffering from that head knock he sustained early in the match, so he goes off. A sensible precaution with a head injury, and the replacement is Paul Rideout, a £500,000 signing from Notts County. An ideal replacement to play right through the middle. Spackman forward, there's Gordon, tackled from the rear by McInally. McInally thought there was a dive there by Gordon, but he did appear to catch the Rangers player, and that's clearly the message being imparted by referee Jim Herald. Gordon didn't deceive McKinnon there with that little shuffle. Spackman forward, in goes McInally. Here's John Brown and Spackman. Rideout helping that on, trying to release Stuart McCall, who had supported from midfield. Brown's header, here's Cleland. Ferreira. Fine control once again. Running at John Brown. And very close indeed, that effort from Victor Ferreira. He really is very skillful indeed when he receives a pass with a defender close to him. He turned away here brilliantly, then checked inside John Brown, set up this left foot shot, and it's very close indeed. Ferreira, hustled by McCall. Mikhalichenko, Spackman. Gordon did well to find Stevens. All hectic stuff. Alexei Mikhalichenko coming from the right this time. Releasing Gary Stevens with a fine pass. And McKinnon again doing some good defensive work, getting back there. Spackman into space for McCall. Getting forward well, Stuart McCall. He's supporting his front men extremely well. This pass from Spackman, met by McCall, turning that into space, trying to play the ball across the face of the goal, I think. Breaks off Brown to Cleland. Bowman goes on the outside, provides the decoy. Duncan Ferguson's layup. There's Cleland! Superb play from United. And credit must go also to Dave Bowman. Look at his contribution as he goes outside Cleland, allowing him to come inside. The layoff from Duncan Ferguson set up the shooting chance. That was excellent play. And the referee is adding on no more. It's been a very good first half. Extremely competitive, lots of quality play from both sides, each of whom enjoyed spells on the ascendancy, but in the end, just about right at half-time. It's Dundee United 0, Rangers 0. So United get us away in the second half, having contributed very well to the quality of the match in the first half. Rangers having to reorganise somewhat after losing McCoist, who is such a familiar target up front to his midfield men. Adjusting to the qualities of Paul Rideout, who's been joined by Ian Durrant in a twin striker role. As the first half wore on, that became the pattern, and it has been started again in the second half. Gordon and Mikhailchenko, of course, can get up to support men like Durrant and Rideout very easily on the flanks. That came off the head of Neary. Here's Jim McInally shrugging off Durrant. Showing a lot of confidence. That's fine play by McInally. Ideally set up to give some confidence to his teammates, his young teammates in particular. Durrant's away from Neary, playing it in early for Rideout. Well, pass at full stretch there. Put across by Gordon for Mikhailchenko. Here's Spackman. Couldn't quite control that on the run. Now Grant Johnson. Pereira and Ferguson ahead. That's for Ferguson. Showing a good turn of pace there. Supported well by Cleland. Oh, what a good turn that was by Ferguson. And a very awkward ball played in there. It came off the base of the post, I think. Well, Duncan Ferguson so dangerous in the air, but showing some excellent control on the ground this time. The pass there from Johnson, pace there from Duncan Ferguson, going to his right, which is weaker side, but he turned there, then deceived John Brown with that excellent turn. And the cross coming off the bottom of the post. Ferreira looking there for Johnson. With Stevens. There's Neary. Now McInally holding off Rideout. There's Malpass and Neary. Good angle made there by Bowman. It wasn't intended for Johnson. Reached its original target. Jim McInally now. Here's Ferreira. He runs so well with the ball at his feet. Pace and control here. Brought down well by Stevens with a tackle. He's played the ball first. Now McInally. Right out to Spackman. There's McCall. Closed down quickly by Cleland, but he was strong enough there, McCall. And determined enough. This is Robertson. Mikhailchenko in space on the near touchline. This is Durrant. Now McCall. And the offside flag not up. There's Mikhailchenko! The opener for Rangers. The United defence was static. Mikalichenko put in initially. It was Durant with that little flick pass, lofted forward by McCall. Look at the United defence, they're standing still there as Mikalichenko brings that down and steers the ball beyond Alan Main. Well, Mikalichenko scoring his 9th goal of the season. Very important contribution. It's the goal which breaks the Premier Division scoring record. Rangers scoring goal number 91 in the league, and that hasn't been done before since the Premier Division came into play in 1976. So a record-breaking goal, but one which I'm certain the United defence will be very displeased with. Here's Duncan Ferguson. Still retains possession. Very heavy tackle led by Goff on Johnson. Goff exploding, and he was going for the ball. Ray McKinnon doesn't seem to agree. Well, Ferguson did well initially, then played this across into space, and Goff going in late there on Johnson. Remember, Goff has been booked in the match already. Played in by McInally. Brown's headed out. Gordon touching that away from Neary. McKinnon with Stevens. Stevens who wins it, but it's help from McInally, which wins possession for United. Ferreira. That's well struck, and a deflection there this time. The corner kick has been given. Well, Victor Ferreira, so skillful and quick, incisive inside the box. Look at the way he makes a chance here for himself. And it came off Richard Goff for the corner. Well, I can't think of another player in the Scottish game who takes corner kicks with different feet on both sides of the pitch. McKinnon does that. Duncan Ferguson's header. Hopeful appeals for handball against John Brown, but he clearly took that in his midriff. There's Malpass, aiming that towards Ferguson. Goes all the way through to McKinnon. Ferguson. Rather obvious pass that towards Pelland. It was read by Stuart McCall. Did very sharply. Dave Bowman takes the throw short to Van der Haan. The chance is on for McInally! The equaliser for United! The ball was deflected into his path by Spackman. But what a superb finish! The short throw there to Van der Haan. His cross played in here, comes off Nigel Spackman, and there was McInally sprinting in to score the equaliser in the 59th minute of the match. Well, disappointment there for Spackman. He was very unlucky. The ball glanced off his head there into the path of McInally sprinting forward. It's McInally's 4th goal of the season. Duncan Ferguson trying to find McKinnon. It's well read by Stevens. Now Durant, plenty of space to come forward. Mikalichenko free on the left. And a great effort by Mikalichenko. And a wonderful save by Alan Main. Well, this was terrific action. The pass here from Durant, pulling United players to and then playing that wide. Just look at the power in this shot. And the save from Alan Main, one of the best he'll have made all season. Durant's corner. Mikalichenko there, the ball swept away by Neary. There's Ferreira. Winning the ball from Spackman. McKinnon forward, here's Duncan Ferguson. Bowman calling for the ball ahead. Pelland's available in the middle. Over on the far side, there's a chance on, and the ball could have reached Grant Johnson. A feature of United's play always is the way they get players forward so rapidly from midfield, from defensive positions. That's well worth the effort. Carefully watched over the top by Alan Main. Well, he appeared to be surprised by that somewhat, and little wonder, because John Brown was so far out here, fully 30 yards. Hit that very well with his left foot, and Main made absolutely certain there could be no slip-up. corner will be taken by Durant. In for Gordon. There's John Brown. No answer this time from Alan Main. And John Brown's sheer determination written all over his face there. But this was extremely well struck. It's midway through the second half. It came from the corner kick, which was taken by Ian Durant. Now, this ball reached Dale Gordon. He wasn't well enough marked. There were appeals for handball as it came off the arm of Freddie van der Hoorn. It was clearly accidental, and this was drilled home superbly by Brown. Durant gets up for support. Kalichenko. Came off Neri, but Alan Main will retrieve it. Durant into a gap for Ryder. He's wide open now to score the third for Rangers. He's gone too wide now. Well, what a fine opportunity it was. He has to settle for a corner kick. He can't believe that. Chances really don't come any better than this at this level. Right out in the clear, trying to go wide of Alan Main, and he just played the ball too firmly there, wide of the target. Had to turn back. John Brown underneath that. It's down to Duncan Ferguson. It's been chopped off, but a foul by Jackson and Brown. Oh, what a strike that was by Duncan Ferguson. We'll see why it was chopped off here. It was Darren Jackson rather, leaning into John Brown. What a finish it was from Ferguson. So we're approaching the final minute of the match now. Rangers supporters ready to celebrate in earnest. Another important victory if it stays the same. Here's Duncan Ferguson trying to change that though. Space over on the far side for McInally. Johnson to Neri. There's Welsh. Pressurised there instantly by Stevens. Jackson and Ferguson together. Here's Ferguson. Van der Hoorn. McKinnon's free on the right. Trying to make a good, accurate cross there. He couldn't get the ball in now. It's Gordon who breaks. Houstra on the right. Gary Stevens sprinting forward in the inside right channel. Still Houstra. And a good effort in the end from Houstra. Wasn't far away. Well, all his teammates making decoy runs all over the place for him. One of them was Gary Stevens. Stevens going through into the attacking position. Houstra retaining possession and then trying to bend one in the corner. Right out gives chase. And the final whistle goes. Rangers march on in the championship race, where they won't get it any tougher than they got it this afternoon from Dundee United, who battled so hard all the way. John Brown was the player who popped up to score the winner. It was an excellent strike in the 67th minute of the game, after Jim McInally had equalised. The goal scored in 50 minutes by Alexei Mikhailchenko. United going off with a sense of injustice. They clearly believe they deserved more from the match. They certainly played extremely well for long phases, but Rangers had that vital edge which has seen them through. The final score, Dundee United 1, Rangers 2.
Walter, did you expect to be able to improve your position today, coming here with Hearts playing at home against St Mirren?
No, I definitely didn't. I felt Hearts, obviously, no disrespect to St Mirren, would be favourites to win that one when they were going for the championship. And we knew here that we were going to get a particularly tough match. Dundee United always seem to raise their game against us, and we've dropped points here earlier in the season. So if anybody was in danger of dropping points today, I felt it might have been ourselves. But fortunately, it's turned out the other way.
What factors do you think turned the game your way in the end?
Well, I don't really know whether it was any one significant factor. I felt that the game in itself didn't particularly flow that well in terms of the football, and it was a bit scrappy, and it seemed to be at times, you know, a bit iffy, you know, and I don't think there was any spell where any one of the two teams could say that they particularly dominated the match. So I felt that we just played away, and when Alistair McCoist went off, you know, we had already lost Mark Hateley. I wondered about our opportunity to score, but John Brown and Alexa eased these fears a wee bit.
Tell us about McCoist.
Well, he took a knock in the head, which he was seemingly unconscious when they went on. Recovered from that and went back onto the pitch. Once the game started again, he pulled a hamstring. So it was a hamstring injury that caused him to come off, and not a concussion.
And that left you, of course, a very unusual striking partnership of Rideout and Durant. How do you feel that went?
Well, Ian Durant just came back, and I keep stressing to people that they have to be. I think today he showed little signs of tiredness, having played Tuesday night in the manner in which he did on Tuesday, where he had a terrific game on Tuesday. And he looked a bit tired today, and we knew that that was going to happen to him. But he's a player that's got ability, and if he's got ability, he can play anywhere. And he causes teams problems when he plays as a striker. And I felt that he acquitted himself well again.
I reckon you've got 3 points to guarantee winning the championship. Have you had any uneasy feelings about last season when you were caught nearly in the run-in?
Well, I think today's was a big hurdle in that respect. I think if we had dropped anything today and Hearts had gained on us at any time, by the situation that we were in last season, people would have started to maybe put their minds back and say, well, you know, we're going to get caught. I see Alan McCoist coming off, Mark Hateley already injured. We've got one or two players who are injured at present and are doing well to play for us. And it was shades. It could have been shades of last season, but fortunately not.
On the injury front, how are the casualties now looking? In particular.
Well, Mark Hateley, he had said 3 weeks from the St Mirren match. He's now been from the St Johnstone game when he was injured. He's now had his fortnight. He was at the game today. He's coming along quite well, but it's still a difficult one to pick when he's actually going to be back playing again. Alistair's hamstring injury, I don't think is too bad, and I would hope he'll be fit for next Saturday.
The idea is to win it as soon as possible, is that correct?
Well, I set up for winning it first and foremost, so, you know. We've still got these points to collect, and I've still got a bit to do. St Mirren next week, and then we're away to Motherwell on a Thursday night after that, so these two matches become particularly important for us.
We'll look forward to them. Thanks very much, Walter.
Thanks, Phil.
Yes, Walter Smith clearly delighted, because that really is a significant win for Rangers. Hearts must have hoped to have been in a slightly better position after today's game.
Of course, but St Mirren had a tremendous result during the week against Celtic draw, and that should have been the warning for Hearts, but they didn't heed it. And it was a good, exciting game at Tannadice today, especially the last 25 minutes when Dundee United threw their all into the game, and it was so exciting.
Yeah, certainly not end-of-season stuff anyway, was it?
Oh, not at all.
Not a chance of that. Alexei Mikhailichenko has had some criticism in a lot of places, including here, let's be fair.
Yeah,
you couldn't criticise him today, could
well,
you?
because he always seems to go in and out the game, but today he was involved for 90 minutes, and really he's getting the pace of the Premier Division now. There's no doubts about that. His work rate today was absolutely first class, and for me, between himself and Stuart McCall, you know, they were the men of the match today. Linked up very, very well with other players today, and of course he scored the first goal. Dundee United players stood still. They thought it was actually offside. They stood still, they watched here. It seemed an eternity before the ball came down, but he didn't wait for the whistle anyway. He just stuck the ball into the net.
Was it offside? David Neary looked to have...
Well, he did. When it's up in the air, there's two players there. David Robertson actually in front of Mikhailichenko. I think the Dundee United players looking for him to be offside, but the linesman straight in line said no, and that was it. This is the shot of the season for me. I mean, had this ball gone in, I mean, it's a goal of the century, isn't it? Alan Main didn't know much about it, put the hands up and then put it for a corner.
But that says so much about his confidence to actually try a shot from that distance. That could easily hit the corner flag.
And that's the kind of player he is, Doug. He's been having shots from the halfway line trying to chip goalkeepers. He's got such great vision, and that's his best game in a Rangers jersey today.
Yeah. For United, Duncan Ferguson, of course, impresses everyone. He's such a good young player. His power in the air is well known, but he's more than useful on the ground too, isn't he?
He's about 6'3", Doug. He's got a bit of pace, and he's certainly got ability. There's no doubt about it. What about the skill on the ground here? John Brown very close. Look, not much room, and yet he does him there. Look, and his right foot, supposedly his weaker foot of the two, and he manages to get the ball over. He's a cracking prospect. Yeah.
He really is one for the future. Let's just underline the situation at the top of the table. Now, if Hearts, who go to Tannadice next week, drop a point and Rangers beat St Mirren, then the league is won next Saturday. Even if both win, Rangers have effectively won the championship because of this huge goal difference advantage.
It's all ifs and buts, really, but you're right. I mean, if Rangers win next week and Hearts are defeated, and the way Dundee United play today, if they play that way, then they're certainly capable of beating Hearts. Then Rangers would win it on goal difference because they're something like 40 goals ahead of Hearts, so really they would win it next week.
Yes, that's as good as an extra point, isn't it? Craig Brown today was in Denmark watching Denmark play Italy in the other semi-final of the European Under-21 Championship. Italy won that match 1-0, and Craig pointed out he really has problems, Derek, in announcing his squad for the matches against Sweden. Phil O'Donnell strained his groin getting out of the car. Lucky White Heather. Gary Smith has a problem with a knee injury. Scott Booth has just restarted training. And Scott Gemmell of Nottingham Forest, who has been so effective, the young Eagle of the Month, of course, down south. Alan McLaren and Alex Ray all have matches for their clubs. So Craig has his problems, hasn't he?
Me and Andy Roxburgh will just look at him and say, see what I'm up against with the big team. You're getting up with the young... Isn't that a shame if all these players were to miss it? You know, we're in the semi-finals of this cup. I mean, it'd be a tragedy, really, wouldn't it?
It would indeed. One last point, in fact. We had a call today from the Dunfermline Supporters Association. They've had it pointed out in their last game of the season, which is at Love Street, the two relegated clubs. The admission will be £7, not £6, because their terracing is closed and they're being moved into the stand. That seems a bit unfair to me.
I think it's horrendous, and I don't think they should be allowed to do that. People like to go to a game. A lot of people like to stand. So why should they have to pay an extra £1 to sit down when they don't want to?
That's
crazy.
Right. All right, there we are. That's the situation as regards the top of the table. Elsewhere in the Premier Division today, goals by Brian Grant and Paul Kane gave Aberdeen a 2-0 win over Motherwell. Airdrie beat Dunfermline by the odd goal in 5 at Broomfield to give themselves a boost for Tuesday's Cup semi-final replay. And Celtic beat St Johnstone by the same scoreline at Parkhead. Charlie Nicholas scored twice after Steve Fulton had put Celtic in front, and Ian Redford then did likewise for St Johnstone. Falkirk's miserable home record continues. They lost 3-2 to Hibs at Brockville, and they've now won just 2 of their last 13 home matches. And to complete their unhappy day, Richard Cadet was sent off for butting Paul McIntyre. So with Rangers now within touching distance of that championship, Celtic have gone above Hearts on goal difference in second place. At the bottom, St Mirren are now officially relegated despite their point at Tynecastle today.